I'm here with your name?
My name is Leon.
And where are you from?
Australia.
How do you find British people treat you in general? How have they treated you in general when they find out you're Australian?
Some of them like to, as a joke, they like to impersonate my voice.
I just want to throw another shrimp on your Barbie. I'm sorry, a dingo ate your baby.
You know that's a true story.
But I think my accent's kind of dropped a little bit.
How do you find that when people imitate your voice? Like, shrimp on the Barbie, crikey, mate.
I find it funny. To be honest, I think British has the best accent. That's why I'm trying to get a British accent.
People say this. Which British accent do you find to be the best one?
I think the South, obviously, more proper. More...
So the RP, the what do they call it? Like received pronunciation? Are you talking about like Bridgerton and that kind of stuff accent, or?
I don't know, like the accent that's, I wouldn't say sophisticated, but more like, I don't know, like, is it posh? I don't know how to explain it. But
why is that the accent that you like the most? As opposed to say like the Birmingham or Bromley or
they just sound very articulate. Like it sounds like it's a nice voice to listen. And it just sounds like it's very, whatever they say, it's going to be very important.
What brings you to the UK?
I just wanted like a different change. I've been here for nearly 5 years. I started in London. I was here for 6 months and then I moved to Brighton and I stayed in Brighton.
And what do you do in the UK?
I work at a hostel and I work at an English school as an activity leader for kids.
Oh, that sounds really fun.
Yeah.
And what's been your biggest culture shock of the UK? I know you've been here 5 years now, but maybe when you first arrived?
But when I went to Brighton on a holiday and I went to a hostel and then they said, after a couple of days, they're like, do you want to work at the hostel? And I haven't left since the hostel. I haven't left.
So what about in Brighton? Brighton's very different to London. Anything that's very unique or particular to you about Brighton?
In my opinion, I think Brighton is the best city to live in England. Just because it has everything that London has, but it's like all walking distance. It's just very easy to like meet people and very easy to like meet up with your friends because it's such a small city. But the good thing about it, it's very close to London. So if you want to go explore London, it's like an hour on the train. So I think it has the best of both worlds.
What do you love about the UK?
I like how it's close to Europe. So I like to go to like salsa festivals and like bachata festivals. So that's probably the better thing about living in England than Australia, is that Australia is so isolated, so you can't really do much. But when you're in England, you can go to any country. I think it's really cool.
What do you hate about the UK or dislike?
It would be cool if it was warmer and more blue skies, but as long as it's not raining too much, I'm cool.
Anything else that you dislike or hate?
Oh yeah, I hate that there's Brexit, obviously. Because I have an Italian passport, so I could have lived in England, but now I have to pay for visas, which kind of sucks.
Okay, so that Brexit has really affected you personally, yeah.
If it wasn't, yeah, it's probably the thing I hate the most about the UK is the Brexit, because I could have lived in the UK more longer than I can, I guess, because my visa's gonna run out soon. So if it wasn't for Brexit, I would have lived in England pretty much probably for a long time.
How does Brexit and maybe anything you've heard about it make you feel or think about British people in the UK?
I'm pretty liberal when it comes to borders. I feel like everyone should be able to live in different countries without restrictions. That's my point of view. So I would like England to join back the EU, but I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think that's going to happen either.
Which kind of sucks. But
I can understand that. And what's something you miss from Australia, aside from the weather, that you wish was here in the UK?
I'm a big fan of Australian football, so I miss that. However, there is an Australian football team in Brighton, so I did play with that team, and we versed teams in London. And yeah, the sports culture, Australian football, the cricket, I like to follow, because obviously Perth is my hometown, so I like to follow Perth. So that's what I miss.
And how have you found it making British friends?
I made a lot of friends feel like salsa, bachata, or playing Australian football, because some British people play it, or just joining activities. But I've kind of settled really well in Brighton.
Is there anything that you found weird about the UK or unusual to you? Things that just haven't made that much sense?
Brexit doesn't make sense to me, if I re-explain that. No, I think it's a great country to live in. It's like my second home.
And do you have any tips for anyone on how to adjust to the UK, make the most of their time in the UK?
I guess it depends where you live. The south is obviously much better than the north compared to weather. Because people always talk about how the weather's bad in London. I don't think it's that bad. I think it's an exaggeration. I think the weather's actually quite good in London compared to many other places. If you like a small town with a big town feel, then go to Brighton. I think that's the best place. And you're still close to London. I think, again, Brighton's the best place to live in. I think so, to me.
And any final comments about Brits or the UK?
Yeah, just please join back the Europe Union so I can live here longer, hopefully.
I'm here with?
Javon,
And where are you from?
Australia.
Nice. Where in Australia?
Melbourne.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Nice. And what brings you to the UK?
Life. I think I needed a big change in my life. I've been here for about a year now. So unlike a lot of Aussies that probably just bounce every weekend, I actually do want to lay my roots a bit more in here as well. I do enjoy traveling, don't get me wrong. But yeah, I think it's life first, travel second.
And have you been working here?
Yeah, I moved here with no job. That was a grind, took about 3 months, and then I actually quit my job 2 weeks ago to now go all in as a creator.
What was the job that you quit?
I was working as a management consultant. Yeah.
That's a big thing to quit.
Yeah. So, but look, man, I think it probably speaks to like my personality as somebody who's like willing to kind of just reinvent themselves and drop one thing to the next. I think that's part of the excitement in life, and so I'm like, why not, you know?
Did you save a bunch of money before quitting so that you'd have that kind of...
I'll be honest, man, I've given myself a 3-month buffer. Like, I'm not even gonna pretend that's more than that, but I think like that's intentionally so to give me the pressure that I need.
And then from when you first arrived to now, what's been your biggest UK culture shock?
Maybe it's like the type of interactions that you have with people. I think when you're in the right environments and the sort of things that you enjoy or whatever, people are actually really cool and very easy to get along with. But out in the wild, ain't always the case. You know, I can try to have a conversation with somebody, or people are kind of like always in their own world as well. And so I get it. This is much more of a big city energy and people are kind of in their own world a lot of the time, which is understandable. But, you know, I guess that was something I had to get used to because, you know, we are probably a little bit more laid back in general.
What's been the most awkward kind of interaction you've had in British culture?
Oh, dude, like I once was like riding my bike down this hill with my groceries and the groceries were starting to tilt. I started tilting and then I full on stacked it down a hill and I got all cut up. And then there was this lady and her husband with the kid. And I was like, look, I don't need any sympathy. I don't need any help, but hey, like just acknowledge what happened, right? So I'm like cut up looking at them. They look at me and they're just like, and they just keep walking. And then I thought, okay, I'm not in Melbourne anymore. So that was awkward, man.
You're the first person I've heard who said that they had an accident or fell over and then people just walk by them.
Yeah.
And this person wasn't in London, this person was in Manchester.
Yeah.
And she said she fell over, she fainted in Manchester and then people just walked by her and ignored her. And she was dressed, you know, pretty lady. You'd never think that that'd be somebody who would just get ignored. But yeah, wow,
Damn.
this is crazy.
Damn, bro.
Wow.
There you go.
All over the UK it seems.
Yeah. But look, otherwise, I am a fan of this place. I think it's a place you need to give it the love that it needs. If you don't, you will get cold feet. But if you invest the time that you need to, if you find the things that you enjoy, and most importantly, the people, I think you will find them, and then that's kind of what makes you stick around.
And how have people treated you when they find out you're Australian?
It's always positive, if I'm being honest. I think it's something I sleep on myself. I probably forget that I am actually an Aussie or an expat in general. And people that's always like a very like good touchway point to like start a conversation. I don't think I've ever had really a bad interaction on that. So yeah, change your passport if you need to, just temporarily.
You wish you'd have one of these passports, eh, mate?
If that's going to help with your social life.
Tell people you're Australian or put an accent.
Yeah.
Hilarious. And how have you found it making British friends?
Yeah, I think it's, like I said, it's one of those things you just got to put the time in for it. I think at the start I was putting in effort, then I started working and not so much. And I think I can be somebody who's okay to just do my thing. And so eventually I started to see that I was lacking that. And as somebody who, yes, can be introverted, I think it's important to still have that. And so now I've realized it's actually not that hard. It is, like I said, just putting in the love, and people do reciprocate.
What's one thing that you think that's helped the most to make British friends, or helps the most to make British friends?
I think it's like identifying like-minded people. So if you know what you enjoy, go and find that. In London especially, I think there is like tall poppy syndrome, and it's not so common to be doing this sort of stuff. So that's a good way to do it. But I think secondly, if you're an expat like myself, I can't have the expectation that somebody is just going to think about me tomorrow, right? Because if I was back home, I wouldn't think about that person tomorrow. It's on you to then make that follow-up connection. And if they vibed with you the day before, they will reply. It's as simple as that.
How would you describe British culture in one word?
I'd say loose.
Interesting. Can you give a bit more? Why loose?
I think like people here like this is a perfect time for it, right around the summer when you see everyone out and about, like people just want to have fun, you know. And I think, yes, I said that people can be uptight, but when I think about things that when come to my mind, British culture, I'm thinking football, you know, I'm thinking about people at the pub, I'm thinking about people just like at the park being silly, having fun. And so it's like I think people are actually more chill than maybe people make it out to be. But I notice it more so when they're actually within their circles. Whether they do that externally, I think they're probably 10 pints deep. But yeah.
What do you love about the UK?
Firstly, I think it's just so nice to be somewhere a lot more central in the world, because Australia is obviously so far. So just having that, and something that I sometimes forget, is so easy to obviously be able to go to other countries. But if I was to talk about the UK specifically, I think it's got more pockets of personality than I actually thought. I think different areas have their own unique sort of things. There's more to the UK than London apparently, and I have learnt that too. And so I think it's just the fact that, yeah, like there is actually quite a lot to do here, and I think it's credited to the fact that it is a major hub, a major English economy, and so a lot of things happen. A lot of artists come here. A lot of events like these get to come, and I'm so privileged to be able to attend those sort of things that I would have to wait a lot further for in the past.
Nice. Where else have you travelled aside from London, seeing as you're saying London isn't all about, the UK isn't all about London? Where else have you travelled?
In the UK?
Yeah.
I mean, I was in Manchester recently. I've been to Liverpool. You know, I did a trip down to Bath. I need to do a hike to Seven Sisters soon. So
What's been the highlight outside of London?
I really liked Bath, man. And I got a mate in Bristol, which is obviously on the way. So I really enjoyed that, yeah.
Nice. What do you hate about the UK?
The weather. Right now I love it, but I'm sure you get that every time.
Aside from the weather, people love talking about it.
Yeah. I was in Copenhagen recently, and Copenhagen is very clean. As soon as I got off the train at Liverpool Street, I was like, well, here we are again. So you just got to, you just calibrate, right? Like, I'm not that picky, but I think it's very noticeable when you come from these really polished places to then sometimes it's just a bit rough around the edges, like, things are a bit older. Like, that's just me being a bit nitpicky, right? But that's probably my take on that.
Any final comments about British people in the UK?
I honestly think that more people should just be like, you know, what's your name, sorry?
Corriday.
Corriday.
Yeah.
You know, people like Corriday, people like these people at these creator events. It surprised me actually, I guess, how open and willing people are to have a chat with you and to be able to connect with people on a more personal level. I think that people should just become a little bit more open to that, because I think perhaps that the culture can be a little bit more internal and not necessarily being able to adopt new things, being able to expand to new opportunities. So just be open, because I think that leads to really cool things.
I'm here with
Tilly. Isabel.
Nice. So where are you from?
Australia.
Yeah, nice. All right. So what's been your biggest UK culture shock?
Well, we didn't know that Big Ben was only what the bell was called. We thought it was like the whole thing. Yeah.
We don't actually know what the name is of the thing. Our tour guide said, but we don't know. We're just the Big Ben.
Well, we just call it Big Ben because that's what the bell is, and the bell chimes every hour or every 15 minutes sometimes.
Yeah.
What have you loved most about the UK so far?
I've loved all of it.
Yeah.
It's been great.
Have you been anywhere outside of London that you've really liked?
Not yet. I'm going to the Cotswolds in a couple of days to see another friend.
Okay.
So hopefully that's good as well.
I like all the architecture. I think this is really pretty. It's very nice. But yeah, no, and I haven't been outside of London.
How have British people treated you? What have you thought of British people?
I think they're all really nice. Yeah, it's been good.
I've had some wankers. I've had some not very nice people.
What's happened that you had?
No, they're just very blunt and very like, some customer service just seem bored.
All right, mate.
But some of them are really, really, really nice.
Yeah. So hit and miss.
Yeah, exactly.
Where was the personal anchor?
I think it was just customer service. They were just like, or even in a train station actually, some of the time they're just like, hurry up, go. And you're like, okay, like I'm stressed out, I've never been here before.
Anything that stood out to you about the way British people behave or act?
Very similar to Australians, I think. Yeah, minus the accent, but.
How are they similar?
I feel like we're all pretty like open, I guess kind of like loud. Everyone just like talks everywhere.
I think it's just because they speak English as well, so.
Yeah.
And any last comments about the UK in general?
It's been cool. I love it. I'll definitely be back one day.
Yeah, same.